Yo, what is up guys? I'm bringing you a brand new video and welcome to the week 3 update of my series where I try to get 700 gear score in under 110 days on the EU server. In last week's video, we got ourselves up to 281 AP with 322 DP. We also had 2.1 billion silver and 44 Rhaenyra's pity pieces to start. And this week's progress, we've managed to make it up to 285 AP with 325 DP. 52 Rhaenyra's pities, and we made 31.2 billion silver, which we have in order for a duo Fallen God armor. It is not a max order, but it is the highest current order on the market. So today, we kind of hit the grind really hard, and we pretty much went back to Sakura. Sakura is one of the best spots for my particular gear score. However, I am very excited to hopefully get this DP upgrade, which will allow me to get to some different spots. But other than Sakura, we also were making sure that we were taking advantage of any sort of little node wars that we could do here or there. This one was just a snipe, so we ended up getting some free rewards. And so we went promptly to the node war shop and we got our loot scroll as well as 50 Caphras for cheap. We rolled our little RNG boxes, didn't get anything too impressive, but node war shops are super nice, especially if you are trying to preserve loot scrolls like I am. But after the node war shop, we basically went back to Sakura and we hit the grind hard. Now, Sakura to me is a pretty entertaining spot. Like, it's pretty fun to get red shards and tungrads and stuff like that all the time, but I am kind of craving other grinds. You know, you can only grind in one spot so long, and yeah, it's just, as fun as it is, I kind of want to move on. I ended up getting a 100 mil golden little thing as a sacred song along the way in this little Grandpa Kron event, which is now over. I am going to miss the Grandpa Kron event, but either way, grind spot's been nice. We managed to do our Jatina daily as well, which got us up to a Tet Crescent, so that was a pretty nice thing. That's given us a bit of a 2 AP upgrade, so that put us up to 283 AP, so that's quite nice. I am quite far off getting the pen upgrade, but, you know, we do what we can, and we managed to get up to 281, or 285, I should say, at the end of this week. So we basically just went back to Sakura, did a lot more grinding, but as I was saying earlier, is I'm trying to move spots. So Sakura has been really good to me. Obviously, I'm getting a lot of drops and everything is really great, but I want to move on to Orcs because I have a lot of Agris coins that I want to use, and I feel like, you know, 325 DP is okay, but I kind of wanted a little bit more before I go there. And another thing I want to do is Upper Gyphons because I haven't really been utilizing my Agris very much. So I feel like that is a missed opportunity for me, and it's just that Sakura is so far out of the way of everywhere else that it's hard to like justify going and leaving and using your Agris anywhere. So we're doing another node war shop here. It's the next day, grabbing the loot scroll and the Caphra stones. Pretty much every node war shop basically saves me about maybe 150 mil because I save Caphra stones, I get a loot scroll, and then also usually, you know, sharps and dust and stuff like that. Super nice. Making sure, of course, to always do my Jatina daily. I ended up missing a Jatina daily, unfortunately. Another thing that I did was I melted down all of my little artifacts that I was getting from Sakura. I kind of forgot about those, so I ended up getting like 40-something, and that's like 400 mil, so that was a nice little boost in cash. But a large majority of the money from Sakura does come from the red shards and the tungrads, as you can see in this little montage here. Quite crazy. You also get Caphra stones as well, so I made it up to C10 on the Offen, which was kind of nice, but, you know, as you guys know, main hand weapons, they only get 1 accuracy for, you know, each level. Turned in my Jatina daily, got that done, and pretty much back to the Sakura grind. But yeah, I haven't really been utilizing my Agris very well. And so I kind of want to, you know, go to different spots that I can utilize Agris a bit better because as much money as I'm making, which is about, you know, 650 mil an hour here, it is up to like 800 mil an hour with my gear if I can utilize Agris at places like Upper Gyphons. It is going to require me to use a yellow loot scroll, but at this point I actually feel pretty okay on loot scrolls because just the sheer amount of events that are going on. There's so many like random attendance rewards events that are happening. I'm able to get a lot of really solid just loot scrolls that I wasn't expecting to get. And also there's like that Grandpa Kron event that giving me the 5 loot scrolls that couple of times was also super nice. So basically that last day was literally all just grinding Sakura, getting red shards and tongue and then, you know, another day, another Node War shop. I believe that the Node War shop is not going to be accessible in this next upcoming week for me because they changed the Node War system and then, like, there's no Node Wars for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then there's no Siege on Saturday. So we are going to be missing out on some loot scrolls there, but it shouldn't be too much of an issue. Another spot that I really want to try is Turos, because I heard that Turos can be quite a lot of money. But the thing about Turos that kind of worries me is that once you go there, you're kind of stuck there until you get to 100 embers, because the embers are very, very worthwhile to get to 100 so you can sell the flame. So that's a spot I'm still questioning, as well as I kind of want to go to Abandoned Monastery too, because I think that that's a really good spot for Dawns. Now, another thing that they gave us for the new year is they gave us this little bundle, and it gave you like an underwear box, but most importantly for money, it ended up giving a nice little memory fragment bundle. I didn't really do too well on the roll. It's 50 to 100 memory fragments. I ended up getting 59 or what, 58 or whatever that is. And so, unfortunately, kind of low rolled, but doesn't matter because we're basically high rolling here in Sakura anyway. Still, we have maintained our average of about 2 red shard / Tungrad rings per hour. So, really killing it down here. Really loving the spot. And, you know, it's fun. But time to move on. So hopefully when that Fallen God sells, or, you know, someone sells it to me, I can then move on to some other stuff. I also want to do the dungeon too. So this event, this butterfly event, this just ended this last maintenance. But I got a lot of good stuff from it. So this is where I turned in all these. I ended up having a pretty good RNG on this one. I got 3 Supreme Scrolls, as well as just some random gold bars, Premium Elixir box, which you can't scoff at the Premium Elixir boxes because perfumes are worth like 13 mil each. I've sold like dozens of perfumes so far throughout this series, and that's just like, boom, you know, hundreds of millions of silver as it all adds up. So basically went back to Sakura after that and continued to hit up the grind. This entire week was literally just nothing but all the same. It was do the Node War shop, get your Datina daily done, hit up the grind. There really wasn't a lot of variance that I did, and I'm okay with that because sometimes getting gear score is not luxurious. Sometimes it's going to feel like work, and all you can really do is find something entertaining to watch and do it on the side. But I did take some time to do the Ataraxian dungeons. I ended up doing the Elvia version of Dungeon 1 and 2, in which I survived. Then we did the normal version of number 3 because my gear score is low and I didn't feel like I wanted to get carried. So at this point I was 284 AP or 283 AP with 322 DP, and I actually felt pretty competent and I felt like I was helping a lot. So I didn't feel like I got carried. And in the dungeon, we ended up doing pretty darn well for ourselves. The dungeon has some first-time completion rewards, but just from the general boxes, we got a Vaha, we got a Pry Ogre, a Base Bassi, and then we got a lot of good gold bars as well as a lot of memory fragments. And then, because of the first-time completion rewards, we were able to claim a couple of Elvia boxes as well, which we got a Pry Leighton, and we ended up getting a base Tungrad and then a base Vaha. And then, of course, you can also turn in all of these other little Maha's fragments or whatever they're called for more gold bars and more memory fragments. So it ended up being a pretty profitable endeavor. It took us about 2 hours to do all 3 dungeons. We had one new person that didn't quite know what was happening. And then we opened up our Shikatsu Resplendent box here, and we rolled a blue box, which I think is the lowest one that you can get. But we opened up the blue box, and we also got probably the lowest thing you can get, which is literally an Elcar. And right now, those don't even sell in EU. Right now, there's like 500 of them on min price, so it's really hard to sell. I ended up taking some Caphras, and I got to level 1 in my Beg's gloves. That was mostly because I wanted to hit 610 gear score for this week's progress, and I knew I couldn't do it without that, so kind of wanted to do it just so I could feel like I made some progress since I don't have the Fallen God. Also, made sure to buy my loyalty loot scrolls. That's another thing, you know, preserve your loot scrolls and get them in every possible way you can. Do your rifts, do that stuff to get the Dark Spirit Greeds, use your Node War shop, get the medals from the Node War, use those on loot scrolls. Everybody asks me, like, how am I maintaining all these loot scrolls? But there's so many random little events and codes and small little things you can do that give you 2 loot scrolls, 1 loot scroll here and there, that it really, really helps out. So it's not really... Oh, here is a crazy moment. I got a pure movement speed Blackstone. That's the second pure Blackstone that I've gotten in this series. I let the first one expire, and I intend to let this one expire as well. So I'm kind of creating a little collection there. But yeah, it's pretty wild that I've gotten 2 in this short time. So now it's Wednesday, and I'm doing the last week of the Berry of Infestation. So this marks me being 100% completed on the Berry of Infestation. I did it. And boom, that gave me my AP to bring it up to 285. That's a brand new bracket, so feels pretty good, man. And then we went on over to Rhoneros to do our weekly quest. That pretty much went off without a hitch. We ended up getting 3 pities in that hour. And then, of course, the 5 pities brought us up to the 52 for the week. And then we were really, really close to getting level 63. So usually I end... right after I do my Rhoneros weekly, and that's like the end of the week for the video series. But I decided, you know what? I'm going to go back to Sakura. I'm going to buy these extra loot scrolls that they added into the loyalty program. And I'm going to get to level 63 before I posted this video. Because level 63 is actually going to end up being a DP upgrade for me. We ended up getting another Sacred Song. I think at this point we have like 10 of them. So like we have way too many. And then boom, we hit level 63. And that level 63 gave us a Tri-Capotia Earring. And because we're just using very, very basic Tuvala, we ended up getting 2 more DP with that. And that is how we ended up at 325 DP. So 610 gear score. We earned roughly about 29 billion silver in total. We have an order on a dual Fallen God. We are ready to get out of Sakura. Hopefully, once that buys... A lot of different varying content for this series in the future. So I hope you guys are looking forward to it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. That was our week's progress. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. And I will see you guys all next week for another update video. And have a good day, guys. Peace.